All right, the light heavyweight champion of the world, the one and only Portan, Alex Pereira, is back. I back. Trust me. My wife. I'm back, everybody. I'm back. No, I'm not doing a fucking Borat. No, that's what he said. English isn't his first language. If you didn't know, he said, I back. Trust me. I back. Okay? That means he's coming back. And rightly so. Last time we saw him was UFC 295. Madison Square Garden, stopped Yuri Prochazka, right? Alex Pereira is unbelievable, and I'm, for one, very excited to see him back. I mean, his career has just been phenomenal. In the short time that he's been with the UFC, 7 fights in the UFC, I think it was, he's beaten 4 UFC champions. I mean, just unbelievable. A gigantic middleweight, still a massive light heavyweight, and there's talks of him potentially going up to heavyweight and becoming a 3-weight division champion. And as I say, along that way, he's beaten 4 champions: Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, and of course, last time, Yuri Prochazka, 4 current or former champions. That's pretty good going for the former 2-weight division glory kickboxing champion. So he's coming back. Who's he going to be? Who's he going to fight? So look, listen, there was this little thing between him and Tom Aspinall. That isn't going to happen. Tom Aspinall even said, he's eyeing me up. I can tell by the way he was looking at me. He's eyeing me up. He wants a piece. He fancies it. I don't think he does, Tom. I don't think he does. Stop being a bully, Tom. You're not a bully. You're a nice guy. You're picking on the small guys. Because even though Alex Pereira recently showed him looking ripped, I think it was 9% body fat, and still weighing 226 pounds, Tom Aspinall's gigantic. He's like 270, something like that, and he's huge. It ain't going to be Tom Aspinall, although that would be, what a story that would be. That really would be something crazy. No, it's going to be in the light heavyweight division, because in the light heavyweight division, there's a lot of challenges for him. Okay, there's a lot of people that would buy tickets, that would float the boats, that would sell pay-per-views. And of course, there is a man that is guaranteed a shot at the champion, a man that I sat next to at Madison Square Garden, Jamahal Hill. Right, Jamahal Hill was the champion, tore his Achilles tendon playing basketball, stepped aside, much like Yuri Prochazka did when he injured his shoulder, and now he's coming back. I'm coming! Okay, but is he going to be the fight? We don't know. When that fight happened, as I said, I was with Jamahal Hill, and he was training. He'd lost weight, okay? But is he ready to come back? We haven't heard anything from Jamahal Hill recently. He made the headlines, shall we say, for the wrong reasons just before Christmas. Some stories were out there saying that he was arrested for domestic violence, which is a very nasty headline. It wasn't domestic violence in the true sense of the word. He got into a fight with his brother on Thanksgiving Day. No doubt there was a bit of alcohol consumed, and he had a scrap with his brother. That does not warrant headlines of Jamahal Hill arrested for domestic abuse. All right, granted, it was probably in a house or outside the house. So domestic violence, sure. But it's not the domestic violence we were all thinking of, right? Getting into a scrap with your brother, that was pretty much a daily occurrence growing up in my house. And let me tell you, I was on the receiving end. I was the one getting assaulted. My 2 older brothers, Conrad and Stephen, used to kick the shit out of me. So anyway, enough about that. Jamahal Hill, April 29th, something like that. God knows when. Could he be the one coming back to face Alex Pereira? That should be the matchup by all accounts, right? Alex Pereira is the champion. Jamahal Hill relinquished the belt. Jamahal Hill was there. He was very animated, and he wants a piece of it, and he fancies his chances. He believes he can beat Alex Pereira on the feet. But I don't think that's going to be the fight. I really don't. Who's the fight going to be? You know who it's going to be. You know who it is by the way I'm saying this. It's going to be Israel Adesanya. Simple as that. You know it's going to be Israel Adesanya. And you know what event it's going to be on as well. It's going to be UFC 300. I'm telling you, this is crystal ball Mikey B time, okay? I know nothing of the situation. I only just saw that Alex Pereira, I back. Yes, my wife.
This is my wife. This is my other wife.
I only just saw that he's back, right? So I don't know anything. But what is the big blockbuster fight? Who's the huge star? Israel Adesanya. Who was one of the greatest middleweights? Israel Adesanya. Who wanted to be a 2-weight division champion, went up and fell short to Jan Blachowicz? Israel Adesanya. Who has had 2 fights, won 1 and lost 1 with Alex Pereira? Israel Adesanya. Who wants to come back and make the biggest splash? Of course, that's Israel Adesanya. The man loves the attention, and he is an absolute megastar when it comes to the sport of mixed martial arts, right? And at 205 pounds, Boom, there it is. There's the caveat. There's your UFC 300 main event, all wrapped up with a little bow tie put on it. I'm telling you, that would be phenomenal. I know yesterday I said Tom Aspinall and Brock Lesnar, but I was having a laugh. I was being a little bit silly, and I didn't have much to talk about. Well, I got loads to talk about today. You might have saw the video earlier between Tom Aspinall and John Jones. Them two are going back and forth. If you haven't seen it, check it out, please. But Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya, they do have unfinished business. I was very surprised that Pereira even moved up to light heavyweight. But looking at the size of him, and as I said, 9% body fat, 226 pounds, making 185 pounds would have been just the biggest nightmare you could ever imagine, right? I used to make 185. I'm nowhere near the size of Alex Pereira.
Just on the pre-weigh-in, 2 pounds over the weight, which is great. Last night I was 30 pounds over. And what I'll do now is, just gonna suck on an orange, have an espresso to give me a little bit of energy, put the sweatsuit on, and go for a walk in the sun. I'll look like an absolute weirdo walking through the centre of Sydney in a sweatsuit. It's gonna be worth it, so weight cut is good.
Okay, right now I'm heavy, but I'm 220, okay? He's 226, he's ripped. I don't look bad, okay? But I don't look as good as Alex Pereira with my shirt off, you know what I mean? Still got it, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about that. But no, he's a gigantic light heavyweight, so making 185 must have killed him. What does that do? It affects your conditioning, and it affects your ability to take a shot. So, for one, Alex Pereira will welcome that. 100% he will. But will Israel Adesanya? Because as I'm talking to you now, as I'm laying it down, as I'm hypothesizing as to who Pereira's going to fight, I'm thinking, does Israel Adesanya want that? Maybe he doesn't, right? Because he just lost to Sean Strickland. Does he really want to fight Alex Pereira again at 205 pounds when Pereira's naturally the bigger man? Sure, he's tall, but thin, lean. You know, he's a very, very lean guy. He's nowhere near as big. And the frame just isn't as big as Alex Pereira's. And even though they're 1-on-1 in MMA, we all know the story. Pereira beat him twice in kickboxing, beat him by decision, and he knocked him out. Then he knocked him out in mixed martial arts at 185. What's he going to do at 205 pounds? And I guarantee Izzy wouldn't be able to land the same kind of shot to knock Pereira out at 205 pounds. So it's an interesting one. And what do you think? Is it going to be Tom Aspinall? It ain't going to be Tom Aspinall. Let me just look at the rankings while I'm talking. It ain't going to be Tom Aspinall. It ain't going to be Jamahal Hill. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is going to be Jamahal Hill, right? What do you think? Jamahal Hill or Israel Adesanya? Which one would you prefer? As I just look up the rankings here, let's take a little look-see-do. You've got Jamahal Hill, right? Alex Pereira's the champ. You've got Jamahal Hill at 1. Yuri Prohaska just beat him. Magomed Ankalaev, he's fighting this weekend against Johnny Walker in the rematch. And I'm very excited for one to have something to do and watch and talk about at the weekend. So the UFC is back in action. And I got something to do at the weekend as well because I'll be commentating that one. I will be in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. So make sure you tune in. Jan Blachowicz will be next in the rankings. That's number 4. Pereira's beating Blachowicz. Alexander Rakic, he's fighting on UFC 300. Nikita Krylov, he's not quite there just yet. I mean, so who is it? He says, I'm back. Brother. Trust me, I'm back. I don't know why I talk like this because he's not from Dagestan. And he's not, my wife is not from Kyrgyzstan or wherever Borat was from. I'm being very silly right now. But Alex Pereira is a Terminator. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So who's he going to be? Who's he going to be? And I forgot about this. Because Pereira is unbelievable. He's one of the best signings the UFC's ever had. What he's accomplished in such a short time. What he's managed to achieve. He's been the champion of 2 divisions. He's currently the champion. He only signed with it 3 weeks ago. It's unbelievable what he's done. So, of course, he's going to fight. He brings excitement every single time. Massive knockout power. And who's it going to be? Well, I'll tell you what. My 2 front runners, without a shadow of a doubt, Jamahal Hill, because that's the obvious choice. Jamahal Hill wants him. But is he ready? Or Israel Adesanya? I present those 2 people as potential opponents, ladies and gentlemen, and I, therefore, rest my case. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell, and I will see you soon.